Today I'd like to talk to you about triads and how keeping it simple can be keeping it smart. Well, a chord is a group of 3 or more notes played at the same time, like this. I know, pretty groundbreaking, right? Well, a triad is the most basic chord type, the most commonly run into, and it sits at the very bottom of the terrifying musical food chain. Alright, now do you remember those 3-note chords I was just talking about? Well, those would be triads. Now, in theory, there's about 1 million different types of triads you could make by combining notes, dropping notes, etc. But I just want to focus on major and minor triads because they're the most common that you're going to run into. And there's a couple reasons why these are very useful. Number one is that they're easy to use and they're really easy to remember. Now, especially when you first start playing, your hands aren't going to be as strong as somebody who's been playing for a while. And so with only 3 notes, these little shapes they're great to get you started, and they allow you to cover a lot of territory without having to be able to contort your hand into these seemingly gruesome positions. And also they're really easy to remember. These triads, on each string set there's only 3 different patterns of them, and they're interchanged between all the different chords, different notes. And so it cuts down on a lot of that mental clutter that you have when you're trying to start out and you're trying to learn all these new things. Another reason they're great is that you can use them in so many situations where otherwise you would have no idea what to play. One that comes to me a lot is when you're given the option of playing a major 7 or a minor 7 chord. Instead of having to know a voicing for that, you can just go ahead and play a major triad over the major 7 chord or a minor triad over the minor 7 chord. And it allows you to play in a lot of situations where otherwise you'd be kind of scratching your head until you've gotten some more theory and knowledge under your belt. And another reason is that they don't take up a lot of sonic space. Now, I think a lot of people don't think about this sometimes, but to me, a lot of times when you're playing in certain styles, like certain chord voicings and they just don't work for that style. I mean, chords like this, like they have their place and they're really great chords, but I mean, you wouldn't want to play them when you got your distortion turned up to 10 and you're playing with the band. It's going to sound ridiculous. Triads can be used in a lot of situations where they're very sparse, so you can kind of accompany a band or back a singer or whatever, and they fit in there really nicely without really killing other instruments or without making it like a huge competition to to fight for the sound. If you can kind of see what I'm saying. And one of the last reasons is they have 1 million applications in that you can use them to to play like rhythm parts in almost any style. You can use them to to even solo with, and you can also use them when you're just playing by yourself and doing like a little chord melody arrangement. Alright, now I'd like you to go ahead and pick up your guitars. What do you think this is going to be, just some kind of lecture or something? I just want you to play a couple of common chords with me. If you know the chord shapes already, just bear with me. And if you don't, you can go ahead and check out my website, and you can go ahead and I'll post the voicings. You can go ahead and work on them, and you can come back to it when you've got them. All right. Now I think we're going to do these in a C major. It's a pretty easy key, kind of arbitrary choice. I don't know, just feel like it. But here we go. First one's going to be a pattern 2 C major chord. Yes, it's magical, right? These are all from the Cage system. If you don't know the Cage system, maybe go ahead and check it out, and then also come back. But it's not imperative that you know it right now. Just the shapes. So yeah, pattern 2 C, and then a pattern 4 C major, and then a pattern 1 C major. Now, these chords look kind of familiar, don't they? Maybe not pattern 1 so much as pattern 2 and 4, but I'm sure you've probably played these at one point in time. And if you think you haven't played pattern 4, I got something to tell you. That's also a pattern 1. on a C major chord. Now, the thing with these chords is that you can find triads in them. I mean, have you ever thought about that maybe? You know, that sometimes you can relate things that you already know to something else to, you know, to speed up your learning process. Now basically all these chords are made up of stacked triads, and they look kind of like this. So, you know, at the top they kind of fit in the chord shape you probably already know, but as they go a little bit lower they tend to jump over into like another chord shape. So you're going to have to learn a little bit different on the bottom, but what I'm really going to be focusing on is how you can use like the top two sets, so these ones. Use those to play all kinds of different things on the guitar, and I think it's super simple and easy. You're just taking shapes you already know, and you're you know, you're just kind of looking at them a different way, and it's going to give you something cool to work with. Alright, enough of this schoolwork nonsense. Let's rock. I hope you guys see the power of the triad and how keeping it simple can be keeping it smart. I'm Canzoneri. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.